Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. We are here now on Tuesday, January the 14th. It is currently 7:08, and I would entertain a motion for us to start our town meeting.
I'll make a motion to begin the meeting.
I'll second.
Any conversation? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mayor, ayes have it. So we are now in our current meeting. To get started in the meeting, we're going to first start out with our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if we could have a moment of silence to think of those who are shut in, have challenges, looking for a wonderful year in difficulty. Okay, if we could have a moment of silence, of excitement, of all the wonderful things that we have in our life, our family, our friends, our loved ones, the air that we breathe, and all that is good to us. Let's rejoice in a moment. All right, thank you. Okay, and getting started with the meeting today, again, I want to say Happy New Year. I want to mention on a sad note, we lost one of our longtime residents, Mr. Ed Muchler, who was our mayor at one point in time. And Ed was going to be Ed was going to be 95 years old this month. And we had all planned already. We were going to do a proclamation for him for his birthday, which we did 5 years ago on his 90th birthday. And so with that being said, we wind up doing a proclamation that we were presented to him on his memorial services, at his memorial services. And I would like to read the proclamation. This is from the town of Colmar Manor, whereas Mr. Ed Muchler was born January 20th, 1925 in Mount Rainier, Maryland, whereas Mr. Ed Muchler has been married to his loving wife, Mary Muchler, for 71 years, and fathered children Diana, Chris, Cheryl, Kenneth, and Michael in Colmar Manor, and whereas Mr. Ed Muchler proudly served his nation during World War II in the U.S. Army as a medic in the 45th Infantry Division, and continued to be an active member of the American Legion Post number 131 in Colmar Manor, whereas Mr. Ed Muchler was inducted into the Prince George's County Volunteer Fire Department Hall of Fame for his many years of volunteer service with the Cottage City, Colmar Manor, and Bunker Hill, Brentwood fire departments, of which he remained an active member. Whereas Mr. Muchler and his wife Mary have lived in the town of Colmar Manor for over 70 years, since 1949, whereas Mr. Ed Muchler served as council member for the town of Colmar Manor, Maryland from 1965 to 1975, whereas Mr. Ed Muchler served as the mayor of the town from 1975 to 1982, and whereas Mr. Ed Muchler was instrumental in moving forward Bladensburg Road's urban renewal in Colmar Manor. Now, therefore, we, Cedar Barrow Mayor and council members of the town of Colmar Manor, hereby proclaim January 20th, Mr. Muchler's birthday, as a day of remembrance of Ed Muchler, for now and forever. So, this was our proclamation to Mr. Muchler. And so we wanted to do another thing, being that Mr. Muchler, his participation in this town changed the town. And the start of the urban renewal project which was a super challenge for a few mayors to go through. But making it continue to start is something that he got going amongst all the other things that he's done for him. So as have been some discussions in the rooms, as you know, this is the Diana Infanero room, and without objection, we would like to name the outreach room the Ed Mutchler room. So we'll have the Diana Infanero room, this is this room, and then is there any objection to that change in name in the room?
No.
No.
Okay, with no objection, we now pronounce that the outreach room will be the Ed Mutchler room. And so going forward, starting this new year, in terms of reporting, before we start our reporting process, I have something I want to read to everybody. This is something that was sent to me, so it's anonymous, and don't know where the original source is, but this is it. Hello, welcome to flight number 2020. We are prepared to take off into the new year. Please make sure your attitudes and blessings are secure and locked in the upright position. All self-destructive devices should be turned off at this time. All negativity, hurt, and discouragement should be put away. Should we lose altitude under pressure during the flight, reach up and pull down a prayer. Prayers will automatically be activated by faith. Once your faith is activated, you can assist with other passengers. There will be no baggage allowed on this flight. The captain, God, has cleared us for takeoff. Destination greatness. So that really hit my heart to read that, to hear it. It's something I think we all should hear. It's just all about let's let go of all of the crap and stuff and let's go forward, charged, knowing that having faith in God will carry us where we need to be. And so with that said, we are here in the new year now and ready to serve. And starting out, I will give you a report on the work session.
Mayor, I'm sorry, do you want to excuse him first?
Oh, sure. I mean, if you want to make a motion to excuse either council member.
Okay, excuse me, I'll make a motion to excuse Councilmember Cynthia Bolden and Councilmember Melinda Mendoza from the town regular meeting January 14, 2020.
Is there a second?
I second that motion as stated.
Any discussion? They both had reasons they could not be here tonight. So I'll call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2? Absent. Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4? Absent. Mayor votes aye. Mr. Barr, are you taking notes in the absence of the clerk? Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Also, the clerk treasurer will not be here. He was detained also into another activity that he needed to be at. All right, so I'm going to give you a report on the work session, which was last Tuesday, 7 p.m. We had a variance request for 3404 40th Place. In that variance, I believe there was an addition. This was a closing in of the porch. And, excuse me, a variance is required for any property changes in this town because we're grandfathered in non-compliance in terms of lot coverage and things like that. And so we were okay making that agreement for them to be approved for the closing in of their porch. There was another variance request at 4314 41st Avenue. In this particular case, the person wanted to put an addition on top of the house, addition on the house. The lot coverage there was very, very high, way over regular, and it was primarily because it was a fully extended driveway of concrete. So the owner of the property agreed to remove that concrete, potentially replace it with permeable pavers, and we contingently approved that based on that being the change. We had an ordinance and a resolution number conversation. We have been recording our ordinances based on calendar year as opposed to fiscal year, And so in order to change into a fiscal year process, we will run our numbers from 2020 now until June 30th. And on June 30th, our ordinances will start being a 21, ordinance 2021, ordinance from July 1st through June 30th, which is our fiscal year. We talked about National League of Cities Service Line Warranty Program. This is the program where it protects it's an insurance program to protect your water pipes outside of your home, which are not covered by WSSC. And they're not covered by your house insurance because they're outside of your house. And so some of you may have seen some things coming out from WSSC saying that you should secure this. This is now the service that's doing it. By participating, the town would then offer the service, or we wouldn't offer it, but advertise the service to our community, and we'll be getting some information out to you on that as soon as we have more information on it. We had a robust conversation about analyzing our police department. As you guys might be aware, we continuously have a significant amount of turnover in our police departments. We are not alone. Municipal governments are turning over and over and over and over, and it's just a volleyball going back and forth. Most of the time, in a high percentage of the time, these changes are because of economics, personal economics. And so we had Mr. Baton to bring us some amounts that are being paid in other police departments across the board, because a lot of times we're losing our police to the state and the county. So we can't ignore what the state and the county is doing and only look at municipalities. We have to look at the whole as a whole. And we're definitely been underpaying our police officers. And so we made a decision that we are going to be having a starting salary over $50,000 for our police officers, and for our sergeant over $70,000, or to start $70,000, and see how that takes us into actually stabilizing our police department. We also discussed changing the retirement plans, because there are retirement plans that are significantly different, and the ones that are being offered by the state and the county and several other municipalities are significantly better than what we've been offering. So that's going to take a little bit more analysis to determine what will the cost of that be in order to make that change, and Mr. Baton will be giving us back some information on that going forward. We had some conversation about our yearly appreciation dinner, and we'll be moving forward and working on that. We spoke about our tagline, which under vision and mission here, currently the tagline that's been used is
The little town.
the little town that can. And so without objection, we're going to change that to the little town of opportunity. We had another resident that wanted to add the words moving forward, so we'll see, we'll play around with it and see if there's a way.
Forward together, united.
Forward again, united. But we'll work it together, but definitely the little town of opportunity. And we talked extensively about the noise ordinance. As you know, we don't have one. We've had four to review. We brought in 3 residents to help us with this review, and we'll be having a workshop which will be open to the public if anybody wants to come in and through a workshop and look at the individual different things about noise and what kind of different methodology should be used for it. The generic methodology of simply saying decibels, or simply saying distance, or simply saying time of the day is not sufficient for the individual types of noises that we may have a concern about. So each one needs to be looked at to determine what is the appropriate one for this particular type of noise that may be coming in. And I think that we're going to have a successful time in that conversation.
And there's going to be a meeting coming up with that also.
Right, workshop, that's what I said, we're going to have a workshop on,
February 8th.
February the 8th at 10
oh,
o'clock.
we set the date, oh, okay, I
February
don't have this on there, that we set the date, February the 8th, at what?
10
Starts
o'clock.
at 10 o'clock.
At 10 o'clock, February 8th at 10 o'clock.
If they want a copy of the ordinance, they can come up here and reread it before you come to the meeting, if there's any changes that you would like to discuss.
We don't have an ordinance.
Yeah.
All right. I mean,
The package,
package.
the package
Right.
includes ordinances from 4 towns.
yeah,
And
noise.
Or noise. And then it also includes a summary that was written by, what was it, the municipal attorneys, Mr. Barr?
Yes.
The municipal attorney summary discussion on how that particular ordinance should be considered. We will be purchasing an electronic sign that will either will replace the sign you have down here at 40th and Newark Road, although we might put it in a different spot. But we've got the quotes. You guys have the quotes. We'll have further conversation in our February work session about the different direction that we would want to go on that. We also talked about Mayor's Park. And if you don't know, there was a big fire in Mayor's Park late this summer. And so we've still been waiting to find out what's going on with the park. And so apparently the holdup has been is that we've said that we want to make sure that whatever material was used in that park is not the same material that goes back in the park, because the wood, or not even the wood, but what was on the external of the wood is what really spiked the fire. And apparently the quotes that we've got from the insurance company is for exactly the same match of what we have. So we've asked Mr. Baden to go back, talk to the fire chief, get the fire report, find out what they said is the cause of the fire, and if we got to use that as a reason to not have that same material, we can use that in order to make sure that the material that we have is at a higher fire rating than whatever was there before. And so hopefully we'll have some resolution to that and be able to move forward and definitely have the park open before the spring, if not before that. We also talked about Newton Street Park naming. So it has been a suggestion that's been put to us to name Newton Street Park Blues Park. And as you guys may know, Councilmember Blue, she is the longest serving council member in Colmar Manor's history. And I doubt anybody's going to beat her out at any point in the future. And so it being that Newton Street Park is in Ward 1, it was something that we'd like to move forward with. So we have instructed staff to contact Maryland National Park and Planning, because that is who is the administrators of that park, and see what process would be put in place in order for us to move forward on doing that and what would be necessary for us to do that. So congratulations from the Mayor and Council in agreeing that this is a good direction to go. Councilmember Blue.
Thank you.
We talked about performance evaluations because they've lingered and have not reached the Mayor and Council for our review. And so we've requested to have them in hand by January 27th. We also authorized the disposal of property because our copy machine, an administrative office and the copy machine and police department are being replaced, and they both are not something worthy to give to someone else because it would be embarrassing in terms of what we deal with on a daily basis and losing time with these copy machines. So we did vote to approve to remove the copy machines, dispose of them. Okay.
International Day.
Yeah, what is, I have that International Day. Is that, what date is that?
December.
December? Okay, right. We talked about international dinner. This was on one of Councilmember Mendoza's interest in having an international day where we have an event here. And so there's something that our at-large Philippine community has been doing in December, and so she's agreed to sort of add other cultures and other people into that, and it's done in December, and so we'll move forward and have our International Day in December, and we agreed to do that. And that was it. It was quite a robust meeting. So as the mayor's report, I will just say that there was holidays, the Christmas party, which is since we all talked, was unbelievable. I mean, the people here, it wasn't just the people here. We put a call out. There was a point when we didn't think we were going to have enough toys. We put a call out like 2 days before the event, and it just came in like crazy. Tons and tons. Every child got something. The place was packed. It was a wonderful event as the Recreation Council decided to do gingerbread houses. And so that active activity with hands and participation with family and the children and their parents and everybody just had a wonderful time. It was a really great event. I want to say that the seniors' Christmas party was excellent as well and well attended. And our Christmas Day event for the homeless was also a beautiful event. It wasn't just for the homeless. It was for anybody who just didn't have someplace else to be. And so there was a couple of families that this was where they spent their Christmas, was here at the town hall, the whole family, them and the children and everything. We watched movies on the TV, and we got food, and we had raffles, and it was a great time, right? And then folks who couldn't come sent something, and it was just, I mean, it warms my heart, the folks from this community, business and residents, and what everybody wants to do to help everybody out. It's very exciting, and it energizes me. So it's great to be in the new year. So we're focused on moving forward, leaving anything else behind, and continuing to be able to do some things that's really going to improve the community. And moving forward. I will announce some of the not so great things that happened is our code enforcement officer has resigned, and we are in the process of looking for another code enforcement officer. So if anybody's out there who is interested in that kind of work, its requirements really are that you know how to read a law and apply it, and you have a ability to work with people and communicate well. And so this is, if you go out on the Maryland Municipal website, I believe it's on our website too now, the actual announcement for the position. We still will be sharing with Cottage City for this particular position. And so we look forward to moving forward on that. I will tease you that, you know, we have our wonderful Captain Gomez here as our interim acting police chief, but we will have a chief before the end of next month, and it's a done. There's just pieces of things that have to go into it, but that will be happening. In our analysis, we also have Chief Captain Gomez is also looking into us resurrecting our contract with the county, so that we're in a position that when we are low in officers, that we can then contract in from Georges County to cover that. But not, unlike where we had it before, where it was strictly just the officers, we will have an in-house chief. And then if we have to contract officers, we can contract officers in order to supplement the department. So even though, you know, it's like, turn around. But I think everything happens for a reason to get us where we need to be, and I'm looking forward to this all happening this year. So I'm going to go ahead and move over. If I remember something else, I'll come back to it. Oh, I want to say happy birthday to Councilmember Mendoza. And her sister surprised her with a wonderful trip. So that was really cool. Her younger sister.
Yes.
So that was really nice. And why she's not here today. So go ahead, Councilmember Blue.
Happy New Year's. Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to say happy birthday to Councilmember Mendoza, as the mayor stated. A lot of stuff the mayor stated already was in my report too, in reference to the Christmas party that was beautiful, and the senior Christmas party was beautiful. I want to thank Mr. and Mrs. K. They had their doors open for dinner for people in the community also during the holidays. I noticed right now on Ward 2, there's bulk trash sitting out. So some people still don't understand that you cannot put the trash. It's been out there all weekend and still sitting out there now. And call the town hall, and if you don't want to call bulk trash, and they can make arrangements for you to pick it up and place it out the night before. Don't forget to check on your neighbors, and Oh, I had a brand new baby.
Ah,
Grandbaby,
that's
yes.
right, yeah.
New Year's
New Year's
yeah.
Day.
Yeah. 12:04, New Year's Day. And so, other than that, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Ward 3?
Good evening. Happy New Year, everyone. We're all blessed to be here in 2020. So just like the mayor said, we're going to start this year off very positive. So I know you all have seen the in and out that the mayor has worked very hard on. We're very pleased with it. If you know someone that does not have email, please let your council member know or the mayor so we can make sure they get a copy of it. If you have some little ideas or little tips that you may want to share with the community, please let us know. You can contact Kayla at the town hall. I want to keep it up with the good news. So I'm so excited. Last week was the opening of the legislative session, and Speaker Jones announced her new leadership position. And one of them was our own Delegate Diana Fennell. She's Assistant Speaker Pro Tem. So we're very excited about that. Also, Delegate Julian Ivory was elected as Vice Chairman of the Prince George's County House of Delegates. So we are very excited. 47 District is on the move, and we are very excited about that. I'm going to keep up the good news. I want to say happy birthday to Melinda Mendoza, which also serves on the MML board. If someone doesn't know what Maryland Municipal League Board, she serves as a board member. Last week, she was nominated as Vice Chair of the Social Subcommittee. So we also want to say congratulations to her. Also want to say, I want to give a big shout out to Councilmember Blue. I was so excited to be a part of naming the park after you. And Mayor, I hope we can say Lois Blue, because you know King and everybody else thinks the park. So we're going to say Lois Blue. Not only is she the longest serving councilmember in Colmar Manor, she's also the longest serving councilmember in Prince George's County. With that being said, this job is hard. And I enjoy doing it. Everybody know my term's up in May. Woohoo! But it takes a lot out of you. It takes away from your family. You're not going to please everybody. You get yelled at. You get good thanks too. I'm sorry, you get thanks too, but you get yelled at. You have a family, you have a job. So if someone steps in this position, you have to do it from the heart. And I want to say, from doing the time that you have done it, I just applaud. So thanks for that. And so with my ward, I really don't do wards. I just want to let all know that the censors, I'm going to say it every time I'm up here, the censors is coming around. So be on the lookout. I think the mayor has something gearing up to get the town excited for the 2020 census coming up. So be on the lookout for that. And also, my grandbaby turned 1 the day after Christmas. So that's my excitement for the day. And see you next month. Thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you, council members. From just to back up on what they've been saying, so in and around town is our e-news, and hopefully there's a lot of material that we get. So it's not just what's happening here in town and that, but things that we get about jobs that are out there, about events that are happening, openings and things like that. I expect to get this out tomorrow for the new year. And one of the things that Councilmember Jackson just mentioned, which is what I was going to actually include in it, was that what I would like to do is have a section on community achievements. So if you have like an achievement, like Kayla came in today and found out when she went to school for a school conference, saw a kid's name up on the wall, and he was student of the month, which is just super, like a cool thing. If we share those kind of special things that happen in your life, you get excited about, you want somebody else to know this happened, you get an award. I was able to put in when the Royalty Institute had the, what's his name? Jacob's Ladder here, and the neckties and whatever, was able to put that out in and around town. People could see that, folks came here, and the county executive's office was here in order to serve up some giving from the community and stuff like that. So I'm going to put that section out there where we can have a community achievement section, and everybody can just report in on something that you feel excited about that's happening in your life or your child's life that you would love to share with everybody else, and we'll add that section. As far as the 2020 census, we did submit a grant for some funds in order to help us with the 2020 census. I want to remind everybody, we need to count everybody.
Yes,
This has
it's-
absolutely nothing to do with anyone knowing who you are. All we need to know is that a body exists there and that is reported on. And the amount of money that Prince George's County and the state of Maryland lost last time around is staggering. But as we put out the materials, you'll see what the real numbers are. But those numbers affect whether or not we get upgraded schools, whether we get libraries, whether we get fire departments, all of these things that the government needs to do. Whether you want potholes or not potholes, all of this stuff comes, the money that we get from these numbers. And so we have set up an approach that we want to follow in order to getting everybody out, in order to get the census done. And hopefully we'll get that grant. We'll know about it by the end of the month. I don't want to mention bulk trash, and in a way, and I need to apologize for something that I don't think that we noted early on. Christmas and New Year's both fell on Wednesdays, and so being that there was 2 weeks of no bulk trash, and I just felt it. I mean, you had to fill it all around the space that, I mean, so I just put in a request last week for Bates to pick up anything that they saw on the street. And we asked them again this week, if you see anything, pick up anything you see this time. Don't wait for a call or anything like that. Just pick up whatever you see out there so we can get this clean up. And I don't know if we had a great response, because, last Wednesday I went around, there was still stuff. I mean, like as if they picked up some stuff in front of a place and just still left a couple of pieces.
places
I
they
think,
did.
I
They left a
think,
couple pieces there.
I think, Mayor, it's the timing of people putting stuff out. I know that you said like Christmas and New Year's fell on that Wednesday, but
People still put stuff out.
yeah, I think it's putting it out actually to clean out their home. I don't think they probably even called, or you also can email Bates too. You don't always have to call, you can email them. I mean, I failed to email for the last 3 weeks, but that's my fault. I'm not gonna put stuff out, but with being said, Bates, I just wanna say they are doing a good job. They've been here early, so since you brought it up, Bates, thank you for doing a good job. Thank you.
So it is true that people are still putting out trash without making any, on bulk, without making any intentions to have it picked up. But in a couple of cases, it's a realtor or the
Yeah.
bank who
Right.
just put the stuff out without anything.
Yeah.
It's really hard for us to figure out what to do about that. We're going to have to make some legislative decisions, because when this happens, and this probably happened 3 times over this year, where somebody put a whole house out and left it.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even know a phone call needs to be made because they're not a part of this community, so they don't know how our operation works. But from our perspective, it should be, and I don't know if we already have an ordinance, maybe it's already in there some way or another. We got to figure out how to bill. Just go ahead, call somebody to pick it up, pay for it, and then bill it back to the property owner. And so that abatement happens, because you would think you empty a house, you have it come clean up.
Yeah.
But it's happened several times, the last year, and so we got to do something about that particular thing.
Mayor, if the mayor and council would appreciate it, I'd be happy to give you a memorandum on what to do under the existing town ordinances.
Yeah, that would be great, because what we don't need time, we need a situation where time is not included in this. In a lot of cases where people are given notice and then they have time to say, you have this much time to clear this out. Well, this much time can't be any more than 24 hours in the case of them leaving the bulk out. So if you could look into that, I'd appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. And then last, which I got to say all the time, I don't know how to plead to people that you cannot put your recyclable items inside of a plastic bag and then put the plastic bag in the trash can. Once you put it inside the plastic bag, it is no longer recyclable, it is trash. And so we have been very benefited by Bates that they continue to pick it up, but it's their policy on recycle day not to pick up trash. And so if they were to come through the town and where they look in and somebody has a plastic bag in there and they start just leaving it, you know,
That's why.
that's what's going to happen, is it is going to get left. And if you wind up your recycle didn't get picked up, and you look in there, you got a plastic bag in there, that's why it didn't get picked up, because you put your recycle in a plastic bag. And so I hope people are paying attention, whoever's hearing me, speak to your neighbor who might not be hearing me in order for them to also see that that's the particular case. And next what we have is our treasurer's report, and Mr. Barr is going to provide us with the details on that report. And there's some on the table if you wanted to get on the side to look at what's in the report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If you all refer to the Town of Colmar Manor's Treasury Report of July through December 2019, which is in your packets for today's meeting, you will note that the town has received 38.5% of its revenue for the fiscal year, which began July 1st and will end June 30th. Total income for that period is $878,657.98 of a budgeted total amount of $2,280,994, which has an expectation of $1,402,336.11, which the town will earn during the rest of the fiscal year, mostly from income taxes. Looking further into expenses for the year, general government expenses have been $141,115.04, which represents 43.7% of the expected expenditures for 6 months or half the year. Looking further into your report, of the major items, Public Works expended $128,897.82, or 49.5% of their appropriation for the fiscal year. Public Safety expended $126,821.49, or only 30.8% for the fiscal year. For July through December, total income is $878,657.89, with expenditures which represents an expenditure of 38.5% of appropriated funds. That would be Mr. Baden's report for the year to date.
Okay, Mr. Barr.
And I ask that the mayor and council approve the posted report.
Okay, do you have a balance sheet to the report as well?
Yes, I do.
Goodbye.
There's a balance sheet at the end of the report, next to the last page, which shows current assets of $144,825.34 in checking and savings accounts of the town. Accounts receivable of $30,128.94. Other current assets, including investments of $886,322.95 in the Maryland Local Government Investment Pool, petty cash of $250, petty cash with the Police Department of $250, deposits of $1,770, hall rentals deposits in the negative amount of $1,686.50. Deposits with the Smith estate, which was of $2,138.70, and I think we voted to remove that, as I recall, as a receivable or asset. Accounts receivable of $5,800, and the real estate counts taxes receivable of $2,062.04, or total current assets of $933,183.07. Liabilities and equities, accounts payable of $160, accrued compensated balances, absences, of $8,372.48, deferred property taxes in the amount of $30,787.96, which I believe is due this month, and payroll liabilities of $4,161.10. Long-term liabilities being $2,311,815.05. Fund balance being $832,338. Net income being $232,317.81, or a total equity of $1,064,655.81, or a total of liabilities and equity of $3,419,952.40. And that would conclude the treasurer's report, and I ask that it be approved by the mayor and council.
Is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Yes, we'll make that motion as stated.
Okay, is there a second?
Second,
Discussion?
yes. On the balance sheet, I guess this is just for discussion. I know our treasurer is not here today, so he'll have to get back with us. But on the balance sheet, item 1036, it says deposit hall rental. It has a negative $1,686.50. Just want to know where that number came from. Also, on the treasurer's report on 5550. Also, could this be a little bigger? 550 senior van operation. I know in the past, it's like a 60% usage.
Wait a minute, I can't find.
I'm on page 3.
It was 60%.
I'm on page 3,
On page 3.
at the top.
At the top, okay.
Isn't that a little high? And it could be because we had
The senior van,
senior van.
and what's the question?
The
Oh, it's at
percentage.
60%.
60%, yeah, percentages of,
Well, the only time that it tends to be above is repairs. So you'll see that the senior van expenditures is 107%, so it's way past half a year.
half a year, okay.
And expenditures, I mean, presumably, some repairs all happened early in the year, and it means that we won't have much for the
More.
rest of the year.
Right.
But,
Then we'll be on, we'll be
we have
good
to
for.
observe it.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing, just for discussion, if you're coming to run for a council seat, you need to know this budget, because when you are elected, you're going to jump right into the budget. So I suggest that you come up and get a copy of it, and also residents get a copy of it. That's it for my discussion.
Okay, I'm going to piggyback on that deposit of 1031, account 1036. for the
Open.
all rentals. I'm sure it's somewhere it's not netting, something's not netting
So that's it, something.
somewhere, but it needs to get cleaned up. I also want to question 2,000, because we basically pay bills,
Right.
not manage, handle or hold on to any payables. For the record, I'd like to see that we have a strategy for the personal property tax receivables being zeroed out.
Mayor, property taxes, of course, are split between being paid in the end of September and being paid the end of January.
That's real estate taxes.
Real estate
This
taxes.
is personal property tax.
Oh, you're talking about personal property
The business-
taxes.
the
My
taxes
error.
of the business, yeah. Which, they come throughout the year, it's not all at once, so. But what I don't see is, do I see a business license receivable? Because I know we have open receivables for business licenses. So I'd like to know where the business licenses are. Also, I know that we have parking receivables, parking ticket citations receivable, but there's no receivable here for parking citations. So we need to get those.
View that one too.
Okay,
Good question.
so I will ask, my question is on page 3, under the Community Center Town Hall. Well, no, I don't have a question there. I wanted to make a comment. It's well below the 50% it would be at, but our debt service showing is only 33% of our debt service, so that just means that it's a bill not paid. It's gonna be around 50%. 50% is where we are now in a half a year. So page 4, 6005 and 66010. That's salary and taxes. So the percentages should be exactly the same. Taxes are 7.65% of whatever the salary is. So if the salary is at 58.5%, the taxes should be at 58.5%. So that needs to get cleaned up, and whatever is happening that's causing this discrepancy, we need to correct the process.
Maybe we should table this?
You mean approving it?
Table this, the treasurer's report?
Until-
And since our treasurer's not here, we have a lot of concerns on this report, we can just table it.
Okay.
And
So
we
that's
can add this to our work
60.
session, maybe, just to,
Once we get it figured.
So is the maker of the motion willing to abandon the motion?
Yes.
Or and the second?
yes,
Accepting that?
yes.
Okay, so this motion is dead, and we will bring this back for discussion at the work session, and then also for report back to the community as the resolutions at the work session, at the general meeting in February.
Mayor,
Yes,
will you alert Mr. Baden to the questions
I sure will.
so that he can be prepared to answer them at the work session in February?
Yep. I
Thank
sure
you.
will. Yes, thank you. All right, so now we've got Chief Captain Gomez.
Yes,
You have a report for us.
yes.
You
Good
wanna-
evening, everyone. So for the month of December, there were 62 calls for service in the town. Of these 62, disorderly and 911 disconnects were the top offenders, I guess. There were only five reports written for the town. One was a destruction of property where a warrant was issued for an individual, 3 theft from autos, and 1 stolen vehicle.
I'm sorry, Chief, I
yeah.
don't mean to cut you off. Do
I
you
know,
have a
yeah, I
copy
thought
of
this
that?
report was that report.
Oh, no, I don't, no, that's, okay, so you want me to go on that report?
No,
No,
I
we just-
thought we were gonna have that report.
What you're reading
what you're
off.
reading off
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I guess he didn't make a copy of this.
of. Okay,
Sorry. So, yeah, I can go and have a, copy made
okay,
of this.
all right, okay.
Yeah.
So what you gave us was actually the report
The
about
report
the
about the-
fire
yes,
at the park.
yes.
Okay,
Yes, that was the report that you were asking for, so I gave that one to you. But yes, I can get this one copied
Yes,
and
if we
made
get
for
that
you.
one.
Yes.
And then, your Renee should still be in there for a minute, though.
You think she's still there right now?
She's at 8 o'clock, or she might be there.
Okay, I'll run over there real quick.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. He's gonna go get Renee.
Oh, she's gonna get Renee. Oh, she's gonna get Renee.
Oh, you want to get her?
Yeah. Then I. So we can go on to our unfinished business. You guys will have the ordinance in your hand that we had introduced. This is actually 09/2019, that we had introduced back in November. We had a public hearing in December, and then there's been some other comments since. So from the December meeting, which was pointed out, wow, it's no page numbers, no page numbers, no page numbers.
Renee, can you just make us, sorry, Mayor, could you make us 4 copies, please? For the mayor and council. 4 copies? Yes. Thanks. Sorry about that, Mayor.
That's okay. 3. Okay, so from the meeting, the change that was made from the hearing on page 3, towards the middle of the page, was striking out fee of $10 per permit for, just for, that strike out. There's another strikeout somewhere, right?
Page 3.
Oh, and further down on the same page, where after you see 24 hours for a fee of $1 per permit.
Take that out.
So there's a couple of things, yes, and that's striked out. So there's no fee on here. But going through it and based on our conversations, whatever, there's a couple of other items in here that were not what we discussed. We didn't have any time limits on where it says 7 days or 24 hours. We had agreed there would be no time limits. Also, one of our residents wanted to ensure that the permits were specific to a household, not just visitor permits that can run wild and be out there, that the resident, the permit would be to that residential home and traceable to that, so that we know that the person is a legitimate visitor in town. And so in undertaking that, also on the first page, it says the space is posted for it says that the mayor and council further find that one factor continuing to threaten the safety, welfare, and attractiveness of the town neighborhood needs to be reviewed and advised. Restriction on parking in spaces posted for non-resident parking by prohibiting the parking of vehicles barring town residents parking permits in spaces posted for non-resident parking. And so that isn't what we had agreed to. We agreed that it would only be until 10 o'clock at night. And so that time needs to be added to the addition. So Mr. Barr will actually read off the changes so that you'll be able to document the changes in your own
Yes, ma'am.
record for the amendment to the ordinance.
On page 1, on the last line, we want to change parking, comma, by providing for the issuance of visitor permits, and 2, parking during certain times of the day by providing for the issuance, singular, of visitor permits,
So
comma,
that's,
and,
so that changes during certain times of the day. So it's not just restricting it, it's during certain times of the day. Go ahead, Mr. Barr.
on the second line, changing, on page 2, on the second line, changing Bing to being. In the entire document, beginning on the second page, but in the entire document, changing the reference from clerk treasurer to mayor, except on page 3 at line 6, which Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong, begins in section 110-125, paragraph 1, upon the application of any resident, upon good standing shown, the clerk treasurer or his designee may issue a visitor parking permit. Is that correct?
So that should be changed to the administrative office.
Yeah.
Yes. And that will be changed to administrative office. On page 3, the first line, we need to change designee to resident. 2, designee to a specified resident. On page 3 at line 8, we need to change visitor parking permit to a resident to visitor parking permit to a resident.
Oh, wait a minute. Line 8.
I'm lost.
Wait a minute.
Say it again?
Isn't that the same language, Mayor?
Yeah, it is. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Visitor parking permit. It should be specified, again, specified resident,
Visitor parking permit
to a specified resident.
to a specified resident.
Yeah.
At page 3, line 8, again, visitor parking permit to a resident.
To a specified resident.
To visitor parking permit to a specified resident. Thereafter, on page 3, line 12, the words, we're going to strike a period not to exceed 7 calendar days. On page 3, lines 14 and 15, we're going to change to a resident an unlimited number of visiting parking passes for a period of no more than 24 hours. 2, a specified, and the change will be to a specified resident, an unlimited number of visitor parking permits.
Period.
On page 4 at line 2, add after 5 p.m. and before 10 p.m. at the end of the sentence. And then on page 4, add the mayor and council, add item number 4. Mayor and council may designate any area of the town, singular, to be for residential parking only at all time temporary or permanently.
Okay, and I will add that that fourth item is from reports that I've heard. Again, it's primarily Newark Road, but, so with the presence of, just to be specific, presence of the church that on Sundays, and we need to investigate it more, so the reason why I just added the fourth on here as a wide open, we can do it if we want to or not, just to get it in there, is that we may need to make Newark, that portion of Newark Road, residential parking only. Because it's all day long, and people can come and go and they can't park in their house because they're parking on both sides of the street. So even though one side is completely open to non-permit holders, but they're parking on the other side too because it's before 5 o'clock and they can't. So there's a rumbling going on right there. And this will open up the door. If we want to, we can. If we don't, we don't have to. But we can do it temporary. It could be just on a Sunday, whatever we think. But it just puts it there. It gives us something to work with.
Mayor, at this point, I believe that this ordinance has been introduced. A public hearing has been held, as you said, and there are amendments that are proposed. Those amendments will need a sponsor, a motioner, and a seconder. Once that is done, you may then go forth and take action on the ordinance that you wish.
So is there a motion to accept the amendments to the ordinance in part or whole?
I'm sorry, Mayor, can you say that again? I'm sorry.
Huh?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Is there a motion to accept the amendments in part or in whole? That means that if there's something of the amendments you don't like, we can strike it.
Change it.
It's the time to make the changes. Unfortunately, I didn't realize several of the items that we had actually previously spoke about wasn't actually in the document, but, you know, it happened. Because we didn't have time limits, and we didn't have,
Just, on page 3, where we're changing to say a Pacific resident and unlimited number of visitors permits. So, and that's being stated to allow someone having a graduation or something's going on, they have definite family, they can come up to the town hall, and of course we try to get 2 per home, but at that particular case, you're going to need more at that time. So that allows for that. Just want to.
yes. Because they're still limited by the non-permit parking spaces. They can't pick, they still can't park in a residential space after 5 p.m.
Right.
So this just assures us they're real visitors, wherever they're parking in town.
Ready? Okay.
You make the motion?
I'll make the motion as stated.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion?
Yes, the mayor and council has worked very hard on trying to accommodate the residents with this parking ordinance. This is something that you asked for. There may be later on some changes, but we just want to hear your feedback. Just saying something that is working, or it's working for you on your street. My street, Pacific, we didn't have a problem, but I know some of the streets like New Street did, so
Right.
that was some discussion I had.
Okay.
And we're always open to discuss anything if there's problems also.
Well, and I really want to thank all those who actually provided feedback, because the feedback was valuable. We're able to actually incorporate some or most of it into this, and so it means a lot when folks are watching, paying attention, and offer their thoughts. So I'll add that, and I will call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2? Absent. Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Absent.
And absent, and the mayor votes aye. So that vote actually amended this ordinance, and as all the activities have happened, as Mr. Barr stated, it's now time to actually vote on the amendment. So is there a motion for us to approve the ordinance, parking ordinance, I believe it's 9/2019?
I'll make that motion to approve the parking ordinance,
9/20.
It's 9, it should be 29.
I'm sorry,
20.
It should be 9/2019,
9/2019.
parking ordinance.
Parking ordinance.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Call for a vote. Ward 1,
Aye.
Ward 1. Go ahead, say it again.
Aye.
Ward 2, absent. Ward 3,
Aye.
Ward 4, absent, and the mayor votes aye. Thank you all very much. That was it.
Motion's adopted.
It's been adopted. The motion's been adopted. Hey, should I hit this thing again? Okay, so we'll go back to Chief Captain Gomez and the report that you have here for us.
I need it.
Thank you.
It didn't come
Oh,
down.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so, getting back to what we were discussing. There were 62 total calls in the town, 9 of them being 911 disconnects and 10 disorderly. Of the 62 calls, 5 reports were written. 1 for destruction of property, in which I said a warrant was issued for this individual. 3 theft from autos, and 1
This is the report you're looking at. This is
yeah,
the one.
this one.
This is
the one
This one should
that said
say
case report written. Yeah, when I said the 62 calls.
Okay.
So there's the 62 calls for service totals, and that was 62. And then the case reports written, it was only 5 for the town. And like I said, destruction of property, a theft from auto, actually 3 theft from autos and 1 stolen vehicle. And of those, majority, except 1 came from the shopping center. Majority of those are from the shopping center.
So it's just other reports that we have, here's details of what was in that particular circumstance.
I'm not sure. Yes. So this report, so you see 12/4/2019, Wednesday, miscellaneous police incident, that was a destruction of property. Where that warrant was issued, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down from the top.
And how do I see that there's a warrant issue, or is that case
Oh,
number? Because
the
of
warrant
case
issued is actually right here on the other page, the Colmar Manor Police Department case reports written.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
So at the top, where it says, so I just matched the number up with, the case number up with the number here. And that's how I was able to show that the report was written.
Okay, so so now I'm understanding this, and I kind of like this report, the way it is here. I don't know. So this is like a summary of what's happened in the different categories,
Yes,
right?
so this is the total calls for everything that you all had in the town.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, everything.
Is that county too, or just?
No, this is just,
This police department?
yes,
Okay.
here in Colmar Manor.
Colmar Manor,
Yes, that's
okay.
all Colmar Manor.
And then, but I guess I still want to ask my question differently. Is that from my police department, or are these also calls to Colmar Manor that might have been made by another jurisdiction?
Yes, these are all calls that may
That
have
came
been
in
made,
Colmar
yes.
Manor from whatever
Wherever,
jurisdiction.
whoever responded,
Whoever
yes.
responded. Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay, that's
Yes.
what I wanted. And so, the ones that, but only these are the ones that actually got
Reports written, yes, by Colmar Manor
by
officer,
Colmar
yes.
Manor. Okay, and, so all of these theft from autos, do we know, I see Mr. Brown leaving from District 47, and so I want to acknowledge you being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out. We always appreciate it. Okay, we'll talk soon. Okay, so all these, that's from auto. Is any of these have a locked car? Does any of these have a locked car? Do we know?
I don't know that. I would have to check to see if that Lockhart, but these that from autos came from the shopping center. The shopping center, well, they just give the shoppers food, Colmar Manor. I guess that's the shopping center. They just saying it was at the shoppers, like in front of the shoppers. But yeah, these that from autos came from that shopping center up there.
Okay, my curiosity is just in how much we need to start pushing people to lock their doors, because if any of these are happening and they're unlocked doors, it's the easiest.
Yeah, I can go back and look through the reports to see exactly the details because it's not printed out on this, but I can go back and look at the reports to say what if the door was locked or if it wasn't locked. I know, I think it was last month I did see something at the IHOP, but their door wasn't locked at the IHOP. So that was, yeah, so that was, yeah, that was an issue.
Mind blowing.
And just a reminder about warming cars up, don't do it.
Huh?
Warming cars up, warming your vehicles up, don't do it. We had a lot of jump-ins, we've been having a lot of jump-ins, so. Yeah, they're just making their way down, further down, so just be careful about warming your vehicles up because they're traveling in packs, and what they're doing is they have two vehicles, one is a truck, one is a van, like a worker's van, and they have people inside the worker van. And then the car before it kind of scopes out the prey, the environment, and then they're jumping out. So they're able to get multiple cars at one time because they're jumping out of this van, and they're able to get in 4 and 5 cars at a time.
Wow.
So they just look for the smoke, the exhaust for the back of the cars. They look for the exhaust, and that's how they.
I don't think that most cars these days you can lock, even
yeah, so
if it's running.
Yep, you can. So let me tell you about that. You still can drive that car. It's just that when you get to a certain place, you can't turn the car back on. If you have the remote start, you can still drive the car away, but when you get to some of them it's a certain mileage, but majority of them, if you get to a place and you turn the car off, you can't restart it. So they still can take the car without the keys being inside the car. Yeah, so a lot of people don't know that.
But when the door be locked though?
Oh, sometimes they have ways to get inside inside the vehicles, even with the doors locked. And then sometimes people don't lock their doors. Oh, I just went there, get back to get my coffee.
Ran back in the house.
Yeah, I just ran back to get my coffee. So yeah, we're having a lot of those. So just, be cognizant and let your neighbors know.
Okay. So I have a question on the disorderly.
Yes.
10, that's high.
Yes.
Was it in one incident that it was a whole bunch? I mean, that's 10 calls though. So
yeah, it's 10 calls. So if I was looking at that when we were about to start presenting. So yeah, disorderly. So the first one was advised. It was on Newton Street. You see that one? It's on the calls for service report. Detailed.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that one, and then if you go down, another one was at the shopping center, and they were gone. GOA means gone on arrival. So by the time the police officers got there, they were gone. The next one, 3600 41st place. You see there was like 2 back to back. You see that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 back to back. But when the officers went out, they didn't hear anything.
So half an hour later, the call came in again.
Yeah. So you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then.
Yeah, a lot of these are like around the Christmas holiday. So
Yeah. So
I
they
think
probably
people were
had people over.
celebrating.
Yeah, maybe.
celebrating and a little bit over, so a little bit.
It's 6:16 in the afternoon. 6:45.
Start early.
This disorderly at the shopping center.
center.
Another disorderly near the shopping center.
Yeah.
Another one for Newton Street. And then another one for the shopping center, the laundromat. So that's on laundromat next to the CVS. That's on my radar. And then majority, like I said, majority of them are from the shopping center because we have another one, the Dollar and Cents. And then those 911 disconnects too is pretty high, but sometimes in 911 disconnects, it could be something faulty with the phones and you not know. I know it happened to me a couple of times. And the police were coming to my house saying that I dialed 911, but I wasn't dialing 911. Yeah. But you know, we still respond to those 911 hangups.
So the property damage, oh, that's the same one. Is that no.
Yeah, the destruction of property, the property damage,
Yeah.
that's the one that we put it, MPS, the miscellaneous police incident, destruction of Maryland seafood and crab.
There's two of them, two property damages on here though.
This is the one in which
Like the seafood and crab on the first page.
this is the one in which the warrant was issued on the first
Okay.
page.
So the one on the third page on Lawrence, 3907 Lawrence Street. This is, there was an actual car stolen in town?
Yes.
New Year's Day, New Year's Eve.
And how was the weather? How was the weather that day? Because I wasn't in the country, so I don't know.
It was,
Wow,
I was,
on New Year's Eve.
I don't know, I was in the house.
I know there was an accident on New Year's Eve. What's that there?
Well, Chief, I really like your report. It's very detailed. Looks like we still have to work on a lot going on in that shopping center.
Yes.
That shopping center is used by not only the Colmar Manor residents, but a lot of, it's used by a lot of people. I noticed that I seen a Colmar Manor, Carter City police car
Yeah.
in the parking lot.
Yeah.
I know in the past they didn't want to, that was one of their complaints about coming over to,
Colmar Manor.
manage not the police itself, but I'm not sure if it was the commissioner or the residents, but they would come over to call, if something happens, they're gonna respond to it. And I hope they would, because they're right next door to us.
Yes.
But that was some of the complaints.
Yeah.
So I was surprised when I was on the bus to see a Carter City Police just watching the area. I was grateful.
Yeah,
I was surprised.
I've been working very close with Batinka. He was acting as the chief, and during the time before they got a new chief. So they do have a new chief now. So he and I were working together because we were kind of trying to figure out these things together. So we just had each other's back. So I'm glad that you
appreciate that.
and
Yes.
we still have that relationship. So
That's
whatever I need, he's willing to assist and help me. So yeah, but I was gonna say something about the shopping center. Oh, I can't remember. I'm sorry.
It'll come back to you.
It'll come
You
back
can
to me.
just
Yeah, I
break
was
in.
gonna say something
So
about the
these
shopping center.
disorderlies, are they like disorderlies impacting everybody in the store, or maybe just a fussy?
So what majority of our disorderlies are business owners calling the police on people that are like hanging around or something of that nature. So sometimes it's not always irate customers, but majority of the time it's just loiterers.
uncomfortable
Yeah,
with
uncomfortable,
how
and they
someone's
want
acting in
yes,
their
yes,
space.
and they want them moved on out of out front of their building or out front of their business. So that's majority of what the disorderlies are.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, these 911 disconnects, I mean, you can see that.
So this suicide.
So when it says suicide, that doesn't mean someone actually committed suicide. It just means that we went out there for a suicide call.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it means
If there was,
a call was made.
yes, yes,
And
yes, yes.
concern of a suicide.
Yes, yes. So this person, I'll look into it, but this person was probably transported to the hospital, but it doesn't mean that there was a suicide there.
But considering there was no report written,
Actually,
how should I interpret that?
Actually, there was a report written. When you see 19-0075336 on the calls for service, that last page, for the suicide, the last page.
Right.
Yes, you see that number right there. That's our RMS number. That's a report number right there. 19-0075336.
Oh, okay, so it was a report written, it just wasn't written by our.
Yes.
Williams.
It was 3 Adam 1. So Adam Sector, that's one of my officers.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, and I know that there wasn't a suicide because they have to notify me for suicides.
Right. Okay, this is super helpful. I really like the way these is pieced together. It helps a lot. We're so small that it doesn't take a lot to actually look through certain details, you know?
Well,
what I
I'll
mean?
make sure we continue to get it this way. So, I mean, it's easier for me to.
Gives us a little bit more information.
Okay, well, is there a, thank you so much, Chief. Is there a motion to accept the Chief's report?
Yes, I'll make that motion to accept it, and thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? I'll call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2? Absent. Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4? Absent. And Mayor votes aye. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good to go. All right, so moving on to our committee reports, do we have a senior report? Ms. Blue? You have
Okay,
anything?
yes, the Christmas party, senior Christmas party was very, very nice. We had a nice outturn. And there were beautiful poinsettias that the town gave one person at each table. I think it was for a raffle they received. It was lovely. And the seniors meetings tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon. And we'll follow up from there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Garden Club, oh, Ms. Epps?
Good evening, Mayor and Council, Chief, Mr. Barr, residents. The Garden Club will not have a meeting this Saturday, which is the 18th of January. We will meet in February. We are accepting application, and the application fee is $20. I have Tracy, Mr. Stone putting it up on the website as well on our town website. On the Green Team Garden Club, the new applications will be there if you need to download to fill out the form. I'm asking you to read the guidelines because we will not have chemicals in our garden. We are organic and want to keep it that way. Excuse me. There's a blessing box on at our garden in 3806 Newton Street, right in front of our garden. We're asking anyone and everyone to contribute to that box. Right now it's empty, and I know this time of year it could be a little hard and it's cold outside for toiletry and all that with the weather, but hit us, we don't know what the weather will be like the next few days, next few weeks. So we're asking for people to please donate in that blessing box. This is from the police department. We want to thank them for donating this and Public Works for putting it up. We are working in the garden, Julianne and I. Come Thursday, we're bringing some wood that we have in the back. We're going to tie it up and put it towards the front. We're asking if you want to come out and help, please do. There's some black trash bags that someone has put in the back of our garden. We're not sure, but there's some leaves or something in those trash bags. We don't know how and why they're back there, but we're going to clean that up as well too on Thursday. And that's it.
Okay, and where, which garden is the blessing box at?
It's at the West Garden, 3806 Newton Street.
Ward
So
one.
we ask for toiletry, non-perishable items, food items, no clothes. We don't want clothes in the box at all because you can bring the clothes up to the town hall if you want to donate clothes.
Oh,
but
okay, because I was going to put some hats,
and
scarf
hats.
sets.
Because I say that because we don't know how sealed tight it is. We don't want to get
Okay.
damp. So I figured we could just bring that up and they can come and ask for
Okay.
that. And,
So if it's toilet paper, it's best to have something that's in a
it's in
plastic.
a plastic or something that
Something,
sell
not
it
the
won't,
paper.
yeah, so, or you could do that, put the hats in a plastic bag and seal it where it won't, the water, it won't, the residue or anything would get in there for, to make it damp. We did get a, $500 grant from, Community Forklift as well. So I've been talking to Susanna, who's in charge of the grant writer over there. We're gonna meet up because she wants to talk about the tools and other things that we might need for the year.
Great.
Okay, well, I think we can send some stuff down, and we still have some stuff that's left over from our homeless donations.
Oh, okay, okay,
And
yeah.
so you probably
So
zip up
it's
some
empty right
things and put
now,
down
yeah,
there.
so if you can, just stick it in there. I'm pretty sure people will walk past there and they'll see it.
Yeah.
And the ones who need would take it,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Soap and stuff we had left over.
I just want to pity pat off the blessing blocks. Our Public Works did a wonderful job. I took a picture of it Sunday. Yeah, so I wasn't sure if it was ready to put stuff in. I thought it was just been painted, so that's why I didn't. But it's a very, very noticeable and nice box.
It is, it is.
Is, can you send me that picture?
Yep, I was gonna tell you
I'm
that.
working on this
Yep,
newsletter
yep, yep.
right now. And what was that date when you, and, Julian's gonna be cleaning up?
I'm sorry, repeat that?
What day is it you said that you guys were gonna come and be
Oh, it
cleaning
will
up?
be, the 16th, which is, Thursday. Yeah,
Day
10
after
to 12.
tomorrow.
10 to 12. Yeah, we'll be out there cleaning up the garden to, 10 to 12. We're gonna try to put, just the weed stopper over the beds. I brought some so we could do that, so, you know, to keep the weeds down. Because right now, I don't know if you all noticed, in my backyard, my flowers is coming up. So, you know, and I gotta try to find a way to stop it because come spring, I know that once the cold weather hit, they might not even come up. So I gotta find some way to try to stop that. So anybody have any suggestions, please let us know how to stop
When
this.
Bobby said the same thing.
Yeah, the other day they're blooming.
His stuff is coming up so pretty.
They're blooming,
The
yeah.
weather's confused.
Yeah, but they would say the cherry blossom, they got cherry blossom downtown already. Yeah, so.
What can you say? But
Yeah,
it's
okay.
crazy. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
I appreciate it. Okay. And, so we have a green team report.
Yes, the Green Team, we didn't meet for the month of December, but we'll be having our joint meeting with Carter City. The joint meeting will be housed here. It will be January 21st, which is on a Tuesday, and it starts at 7 to about 8:30. All is welcome. We really enjoy our joint meeting. I was trying to pull up, I know that we are hosting Sustainable Merlin here in Colmar Manor, but
Yeah,
and
I think
I'm
it's
trying
February
to
the
find
8th.
the date. When is the date?
I think it's February the 8th. Let
On
me
that
see.
Saturday? That we're, okay, so
Wait a minute,
it's
wait
a
a
Saturday.
minute. Wait a minute.
It's a weekday.
It is a weekday.
Oh, it's called Route 1 Quarter Green Teen Summit, and it's February the 13th,
13th, okay.
which is a Friday. So I'm definitely going to make sure I have this out to our both joint Green Team members. So if you are interested in attending, please let me know or Kayla at the town hall. You do have to register. It's very important that you register. And the time will be,
30?
I have 6. on mine.
6 till 8:30 p.m. in Colmar Manor. That's it.
Okay.
But they're asking, he definitely wants each municipality to have 2 or 4 attendees. And I know we have 2 volunteers in the audience already. Woohoo! So we're happy about that. But please come join us January 21st at our joint Green Team meeting. And thank you.
All right, thank you. Is there going to be any specific guests or anything like that at the joint meeting like we did
What we're
last?
talking about?
Yeah.
Well, we're in November, we were in Carter City, so we talked about climate change. I think that's really heavy on everybody's mind, especially with the weather's changing. We also talked about doing a stormwater management joint thing together. So I haven't got the minutes yet from the meeting
Okay.
from November, so I apologize that I can't really go into details, but I know we are definitely going to talk about climate change and different things of how we can better both towns.
Okay, awesome. So, we have a recreation report. I'll just mention that we have Black History Month event coming up February the 15th, and it starts at 3 o'clock, I believe. Is it 3?
Yes, 3 o'clock,
And then
yes.
after the Black History Month event, we're going to do a showing of Saving the Peace Cross. which was a documentary that was done by Renee. What's her name?
Her name is Renee.
Renee. Green. Okay, there you go. Renee Green. Yes, thank you. Who did, she just put her heart and soul into saving this, and so it's done. And so I would be happy if anybody wants to come out for Black History Month. Right now, we're still working out the details, but because the Peach Cross is about Route 1, our Black History programming will probably be around the Black soldiers during World War I and some of their stories and the things that they've been through. So that's going on in the Recreation Council. Do we, no report, PGCMA? Just a meeting?
Just PGCMA, just our next meeting is on this Thursday, January the 16th, and it'll be in Mount Rainier Police Station.
Oh, is it the police station? Oh, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see.
Because I've been.
So it starts at 6:30. Yeah, that's the next meeting.
And I can't remember the date right now, but look out for the e-news because the library in Mount Rainier is going to be reopening in the next couple of weeks, and sounds like a real exciting thing to be able to go to. It's been so long since the library has been out, and I remember going to that library as a young girl, and then for it to not be. It's a nice, sweet library, so I have it in the newsletter. So Prince George's elected municipal women.
Yes, I was not able to attend last meeting, but we will be meeting this Saturday in the town of Edmiston. And this Prince George's elected women is for present and past. So this is something that I can stay on.
Yep.
But I am a board member, so I'm looking forward to our meeting. Okay. And I know we're trying to do something partner with the schools in the area.
And when is the next meeting again?
It's this January the 18th, and it's at 10 o'clock, and if I'm not mistaken, it is at Edmiston. But I will confirm that.
Okay. All right, so Maryland Municipal League, unless someone else has a report.
Just that the board met this Saturday, and that's when I think I already explained to you all that Councilman Mendoza was elected as vice chair of social subcommittee. I think she fits that title.
Who's vice chair of what?
Social subcommittee.
The social
for the Maryland,
subcommittee.
yes.
Oh yeah, I think she fits it fine. And Neighborhood Watch.
Oh, it's this Thursday at 7 o'clock here at the town hall. All welcome to attend. Thank you.
Okay. All right, do we have any citizen comments? Please state your name and the 100 block and street that you live on.
Doretha Epps, 4309 Lawrence Street. I want to say happy birthday to Councilmember Mendoza. Congratulations to Councilmember Lois Blue for the park.
Thank you.
And the parking, I really appreciate the parking, even though we did get a ticket, which I was fine because it was wrong. So you have to, you have to pay for your mistakes. But I am so pleased of the parking because I see that we are, on our block, we have more space now. And it's like everybody's like respectable and doing, doing better with the parking. But I had a conversation 2 days ago with one of the residents that lives on Newark, right behind where the church is. And she was saying how difficult it is for them and how she doesn't know what to do. She's kind of frustrated with them right now. And when you all, I think you mentioned about just maybe putting residential parking only, and I think they will be very pleased because right now she's just pulling her hair out. She said she might put a chair or go buy her some orange cones or something to put her there to save her parking. So this will really help her.
Wow.
Yes.
And it's residential, they're parking right on the residential side too?
They parking, they're taking up the whole side.
It's
I do
packed.
know
They're taking up both sides, yeah.
I do know on Sunday there's like a basketball league that they are playing basketball down there. Maybe that's the
I'm not sure, but
Issue?
I know she's frustrated because they there way, she's even after 5 o'clock. They still there all day. So, that's all I have to say, but thank you for.
Well, thank you, and I
parking.
wish that she was able to come up to, or
Well, I was trying to get her to come up
yeah.
here to talk to the mayor and
or
council.
just
I was-
give us a call. But
I was-
thank you,
yeah.
because we don't know if you don't
Tell us.
That's
tell us,
exactly
so-
what I told her. I said, you
And
can't
I-
voice
we-
don't make sense to
frustration.
talk to someone that can't help you. You need to come up and talk to someone that can help you. I did say that to her. So she said she's gonna look into it, but since you guys talking about it.
Yeah.
now, so that makes
Well,
a
thank
big
you,
difference.
Well,
too.
thank you for, and please let her know.
Well, I'm pretty sure she's watching this. Hopefully.
Okay, all right.
Hopefully. Anyway.
Because, you know, based on it, and like I said, I have had the same feedback, and yeah, I mean, and it could be a combination also with the little basketball tournaments they
That's what
do.
yeah, that's why I was thinking it may.
But there was no fussiness before, you know, they mostly would try to park in the,
Right,
In-
she said
in the
inside,
use-
but because
the
all the
youth crew?
rain, the parking lot or something inside is kind of flooded, so they won't park in the parking lot, they'll park on the
but I mean, the basketball guys, they usually would try to park in the U
Yes,
and
that's
on
what-
the opposite side.
do.
And they don't normally park
Oh,
down
I
by,
see
in
what you're
people's
saying.
resident. So this is new.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
happening
new.
in the last
Yeah,
month
I
or so.
understand.
Yeah.
Where, and I've seen the pictures of where it's just jam-packed
Right.
on both
She
sides
said
of the
both
street. If you
sides.
leave home,
Wow.
you're not getting back.
Yeah. Right.
Unless you got a driveway. But, thank you so much.
Okay, you want-
But guys, with that said, our ordinance actually just gave us the authority to do something permanent or temporary. And with that said, I think it might be a good idea for us to at least go with
Take
a
a
temporary
visit.
restriction for the next month and see what kind of feedback we get.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Okay.
Okay, so is there a motion to do that?
Yeah, I'll make that motion stated.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second. Wait, Mr. Barr needs to write it down.
So, our ordinance just gave us the authority to establish a section of town as residential parking only
Yes.
at all times. So now we want to vote in order to make Newark Road from 4300 block of Newark Road residential parking only at all times.
For the reasons enunciated by former council member Epps.
As well as the reason enunciated for the,
The resident.
for it going in the ordinance.
Yeah.
Feedback from them?
Julianne, you gotta, yeah.
So I think that there are options that exist.
I'm sorry, but you gotta make a
Julianne Bethea,
record.
4206 Monroe Street. My comment is that I understand the situation with the parking, and I understand the ordinance trying to correct it, but I also understand that we should reach out to the people of the church to ask them, can they cooperate with us with the parking? I think using the ordinance without some type of community input does not allow for good relations. And that church is going to be there for a while.
So I understand what you're saying, and thank you for that. I think that making it temporary is to get to learn, to find out what the feedback will be, once we do that. There are so many options, particularly on the Sundays, that within, where the car wash is, and going further down on Newark Road behind the fence, behind the car wash, as opposed to, oh, my church is right here, I want to be really close, so I'm going to park in front of somebody's house. And I can, to your delay, I mean, because right now I would like to have a vote on the table so we have the ability to do it. But we can do it in a delay, if you want to add that to your motion after a conversation with the church.
Okay.
And,
I'll amend it that way.
okay, would you accept that friendly amendment?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
Have it.
And, any other discussion?
Just, I wish, do we know it's the church though? That's taking up the parking spaces? So it's only on Sundays?
She said we'll get a petition for her neighbors
So it
Wow.
became,
All of them on that block.
Wow, wow, I appreciate you for coming, because a phone call could have.
Yeah,
because I don't go down that, we don't know if you don't tell us,
yeah,
and I know my bike riders or my dog walkers may
Yes, and I
see it, but
Sunday, that whole area is filled in, inside of their compound, their
yeah.
park and roads, those of the
Right.
park, all the way to around the back. And then from there, it spills over on the
to
backside
the,
of
okay.
Lewis.
And so, yeah, I mean, as much as possible we can, because like you said, a phone call. It's lucky that I got feedback that didn't come directly from a resident. It came from like you, a resident of a resident who's talking to somebody, but not talking to us. And just getting that in, because it's been really hard to even do what we're gonna try to do after talking to the church, because we'd have to go through another whole change in the ordinance again in order to give us the ability to actually do that. And so it just, anytime we can try to get people to communicate, even if they can only send an email, we'll know we can do something. Okay, but thank you. So there's a vote, motion on the floor. I'll call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2? Absent. Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4? Absent. Mayor votes aye. Thank you so much. We'll be able to do something about that. Any additional comments to be made?
I sure do miss shoppers.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I will tell you guys,
Started
so,
doing something in there.
They have? I don't know.
I seen today they're starting to do something in there.
I'm hoping they're doing something. I mean,
Just getting off the bus, picking
unfortunately,
up some bread, or just,
Yeah.
you know, just, I miss it. I mean,
I miss it big. I was talking to Rufus the other day, I'm like, I would not believe how much I was just used to
popping
Running
in.
there.
popping in.
Yep.
It's like having a whole grocery store at your convenience.
Yeah.
At your convenience, and you just highly noticeable missing, like, oh no, oh yeah, I can't just go run over there. You know,
Miss it.
it's very different. I did send a letter to the new owners, it just, so everybody kind of gets it. The, Compare Foods, who, the closing was delayed, which was supposed to be January 6th, and it's been delayed to January the 23rd. Compare Foods banner is owned by Associate Supermarket Group. They own 5 different banners. Compare is one of them. The stores are independently owned, very similar to a franchise. I think one guy owns most of the Compare, specifically, Compare Foods. They have like 20 of them. 2 are in North Carolina, and the rest are in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and I think Connecticut. So they told Mr. Lusk, or somebody from the office told Mr. Lusk, that they believe they will probably be open by mid-February. So that would be really awesome. For anybody who wants to communicate, I'm very happy that the lights have stayed on, because that's really needed just for the safety of the area. And so I'm happy that that's been done. And so Ms. Blue saw some work starting in there, that's awesome
Yeah,
too.
some people in there.
So, won't be long. Okay, just be a little patient and we'll have another store. All right, anything else? Anybody have anything else for the good of the order? Okay, with that said, is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make that motion stated.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.